Myth number 4 is ADHD affects only boys or males. This was kind of the belief back in the 50s and 60s, but it was quickly refuted by research on clinic-referred individuals, in which we would see that girls were being referred, although back in the 70s, it was mainly about 6-to-1 boys to girls. It took a while for families to start referring their girls with ADHD, and eventually it started to catch up, and now it's down to 3-to-1 boys to girls. Now, why was that? It has to do with the fact that boys are more aggressive and disruptive and harder to manage, and therefore the boys get referred earlier than the girls because they're just a pain in the ass. They're harder to deal with. And that's a little less true of the girls, who tend to be more talkative, sociable, flighty, and so on. The girls can be difficult too, and they can be defiant and challenging, but not as much as the boys might be. There's also some sociological research to show that families are quicker to refer a male child than a female child to get help. Why is that? Well, it's believed in these studies, or at least in these writings, that it has to do with the fact that we need to get boys independent and self-supporting so they can go on and have families, whereas back in the 70s when these articles were written, it was less true that that would happen with a female. You could always marry off your daughter with ADHD and someone else could take care of her. But that was a lot less likely to happen with boys. Now, again, this is a 50-year-old idea, and it's probably a lot less true today than it was back then. But that was one of the reasons given for why boys were getting referred. I think it largely has to do with the point I made earlier, and that is that boys are just more aggressive, more disruptive, harder to manage, more defiant than the girls tend to be. Eventually, the girls do get referred. And as we're now seeing, over the last decade, there's been an explosion of referrals of girls and women with ADHD to clinics, and they're now finally getting the help that they richly deserve that was denied to them, or at least not available to them, back in earlier decades.